2nd, 2017, MPP's Kandahar boys attacked Tamale Teaching Hospital CEO. Nothing happened. March 2017, attack on the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator in Kumasi. We saw him being dragged down the staircase. Nothing happened. March 30th, 2017, Invincible Forces attacked school feeding caterers in Atebubu. April 2017, Delta Forces stormed the circuit court in Kumasi and freed 13 suspects in open court. Subsequently, when they were rearrested and tried, they all had 1,800 cedis in envelopes. They said they were told that they were going to be fined 1,800 cedis. And lo and behold, they were fined 1,800 cedis. And they paid that. How did they know? April 3rd, 2017, again, Invincible Forces lock up the Eastern Regional NHIS office. July 2017, Delta Forces stormed Ashanti MMT terminal over the new director who had been appointed. August 1st, 2017, Invincible Forces threatened chaos over jobs in Tema. We all watched it live on television. Nothing happened. October 16, 2017, Kandahar boys locked up school feeding offices in Tamale. Then in May 2021, the Delta Forces attacked Ashanti Regional Security. And the National Security Minister came out and said, yes, he sent them. Okay? Yeah. So you have to look at the issues in the context. Then we have the Plecho incident where the La people were beaten, poured hot water on them. You have the Shaman shooting incident where we were promised that there will be no cover-up. And I don't know if you are media people, maybe you've seen the report somewhere. I haven't seen it. And then you have the almighty Ayawaso West Wagon incident, which, I mean, for those of us who saw it on television, it was as if we were watching a movie. Is this really happening in Ghana? And we had our reservations. You have to be honest about the commission, but to be truthful and fair, they did an excellent job, came out with recommendations and all that. Ask me, what has happened to those recommendations? Over 60% of them have been thrown out, and the few that were left, not one has been implemented. Disband the SWAT team, remove people like Azugu and all that. What the government has rather done is to go to Parliament and go and amend the Securities and Intelligence Act and legalize the use of force by the national security. True or false? So is that not an endorsement of what they did? In the government's white paper to the report, they said that the guy who slapped Sam George was provoked. A whole member of Parliament, he was provoked. So he beat him up. Is that not an endorsement of what happened? So if indeed, for those who say, this is an extreme view, why do you say that? Okay, the president is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. He is the one responsible. So something has happened. Granted that he didn't know about it, he didn't support it and all these things. Okay, an opportunity has been given. Do something about it. He doesn't. And it is against the backdrop of all these things that have happened. And then in the Ayawaso West Wagon video, we hear the boys saying, this is a dress rehearsal for 2020 elections. Why did they say that? What briefing were they given? Who was their commander? What was the orientation? They said that. It sounded like a joke. What happened during the registration? For the first time in the history of this country, registration, bloody. Poor Silas lost his life. Hawa Koomson, she claims she shot people. Bloodshed all over. Hawa Koomson today has been promoted. She's now a cabinet minister. If the president was displeased with her actions, would he have promoted her, given her a higher level of responsibility, where the national security and communications ministers are not in cabinet, and yet Hawa Koomson finds herself in cabinet? Okay? So all these are tacit endorsements. Now you look at what happened to Caleb Kuba and her colleague. Okay? The national security, Colonel Frank Ajimai, was supposed to have been redeployed to the Bema camp. It happens. So, less than a month, he's then promoted to head the elite unit of the Ghana Armed Forces, the 64 Regiment. Somebody who has done something, who superintended over something that everybody condemned, there's been an investigation, you must deal with him, remove him from office. Granted, nobody is saying he should be sacked. You take him to the Ghana Armed Forces, and people will say, it's not the president who appoints. It's not true. Promotions beyond a certain rank has to be come under the signature of the president, who is the commander-in-chief. So it's not, is it not an endorsement of what happened? Azugu and his SWAT team, after all that happened, they were involved in the Caleb Kuda case. We've seen videos of them engaging in all other acts. Has anything happened to them? Okay? So, after Ayawaso was working, we are told it's a dress rehearsal for 2020. We saw what happened during the registration. What happened in Techiman? What happened in Ablekuma Central? What has happened to any of those perpetrators? Absolutely nothing. So, it reinforces the fact that these things are part of a strategy. And these things, when we say them, we should look at the context within our sub-region. Many of the countries around us, and even beyond Ghana, beyond the sub-region, they started as democracies. Now they have become just electoral democracies. Every 4 or 5 years, they go for elections, but in essence, there's no real democracy because the people are suppressed. They are not allowed to speak. You go on demonstration, people are shot, people are beaten, people are intimidated, suppressed. Culture of silence. So that is what is happening. So the Nana Akufo-Addo government and his MPP are benefiting politically from all these things that is going on. Granted, one may argue that he is not the one who maybe directly authorizes them. But by the virtue of the fact that when these things happen, and he has the opportunity to sanction them, to send a clear signal that is not in favor of them, he doesn't. And the effect is that because it creates an atmosphere of intimidation, and even you media people tell us privately that actually you are careful, because threats here and there. Now let's come to Adria. What happened? Kaka was somebody he's been a social activist, social media activist and an influencer. He was doing all those things during the NDC era. Nobody sent for him to be beaten. And then he receives threats saying that what you are doing, be careful, because if anything happens to you, it's your own business. Be careful. So he was threatened. They went beyond the threats and actually reported him to the police. The police subsequently gave him a warning letter. And then this guy is subsequently physically attacked, beaten with sticks, and then stabbed, and he dies. The woman who appeared on the scene, based on her evidence and statement, leads to the arrest of 2 people who are suspected to be bodyguards of the MC. A day or 2 after, this same woman now changes her testimony, and the police now say it is the brother of Kaka. Now the question any right-thinking person should ask is, was it the brother who issued the threats? Was it the brother who reported him to the police, which led to the police issue the warning letter? What is the link between that? What is it that he was doing? Was it not the MC's people that were complaining because the MC was seeking renomination? So you see immediately that there's an attempt to divert attention and to blame an innocent person. In fact, yesterday when we went there, Kaka's wife and mother, they wept bitterly that guy is not even well. There is absolutely no way that he could have been involved in those things. So again, you see an attempt to cover up. Again, you see that in the reports or the release of the Ashanti Regional PRO, he says the people were carrying cutlasses, sticks, guns, were firing guns. Which policeman got injured? Thank God for Joy FM. We all saw the videos. Look at the distance between the people and the police and soldiers. Look at the distance. And they were even retreating. We went to the hospital. The medical superintendent told us the gunshots to the back. People were retreating. We all saw a so-called policeman or soldier squatting and aiming at innocent civilians. We are told that those people were wearing beards and earrings. What kind of soldiers are those? So you see, these things have been going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. We'll talk about it for a day or 2, 1 week, 3 weeks, 4 months, and then it happens again. Look at what happened in Y yesterday. What happened in Y yesterday is because those people had the audacity, because they've been doing it, and nothing has been, they've seen their colleagues do it, nothing happens to them. So they are emboldened. My brother, our democracy is in danger. Let's speak the truth for once. Where we are heading towards is frightening. It is about time we all stood up to defend our democracy and our motherland.